what was your thoughts whenever we first told you we were doing a podcast?
I was like, okay, what's the motivation for this one? Because I was kind of surprised, you know. It's like, but I wasn't. It was like, oh hell, what are they into now?
Pretty much about it.
What do you mean? We don't get into anything.
No,
What are you talking about?
never.
So it'd be interesting to see where it goes.
Welcome to the Two Thirsty Bikers podcast with your hosts, Stump and Stick.
We use the stuff, fucker.
Well, welcome to the Two Thirsty Bikers podcast. Got a special guest today,
Yep. My dad, Steve,
the man, the myth, the legend.
all the way from Loganville, Georgia, come up to, well, you got about a week and a half notice for this.
Yeah, we didn't want to tell him too quick.
Right. So in this episode, we're going to cover the Tennessee courthouses, where we went to all 95 county courthouses in the state of Tennessee. This was his idea before he ended up having to move to Georgia in 2012.
Back in the day, yeah.
So what made you come up with this idea?
Well, when we bought that Yamaha,
Right.
got the Yamaha there in 2011, and first bike I'd had in ages. So I don't know. I just tried to figure out something to do, somewhere to ride, some reason to ride, give me something to do. And I thought, Tennessee's got 95 counties, so I'll just, and I don't know if I'd gotten it somewhere from somebody else, something like that. But I thought, I'll just ride to the courthouses, park the bike in front, take a picture, and by that time, cover the whole state of Tennessee.
Literally, the whole state
The
of
whole
Tennessee.
state of Tennessee, yeah.
Every
yeah.
bit of it. So whenever we tell people we've been all over the state,
We can actually say we've been all over the
we've
state.
literally
Yeah.
been all over the state
We
of
have.
Tennessee.
Yes.
I remember back in when I was back in school, I had a professor, economic geography professor. His name was Bill Cherry, and he used to talk about people going on vacation everywhere. But he always said, you don't have to leave the state of Tennessee. You can go throughout the state. There, you can see anything you want to see here in this state. So, I just remembered that too. So, I thought, well, 95 courthouses, and off we go.
Well, even though we've been to all 95 of them, there's still plenty that we didn't see.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a ton of this state we haven't seen.
Right. I mean, we just went from one county seat to the next county seat.
Yeah.
and
Well, but the
took
cool
some
thing
little
is
side
we
trips, too.
went mainly back roads. We went side roads, back roads. We didn't run interstate to interstate to interstate.
No.
And trying to hit the courthouses that way. And we did it the right way.
All
We
state and county roads all the way through. Yeah.
Well, we did interstate
did just a
on
little
our,
bit.
on our West Tennessee for about 40 miles,
Right.
just because we were trying to cut some time down.
Yep.
And then we did some around Memphis when we went to Tunica, and we'll get to that here in a little bit.
and a little bit in
We did a little bit going up to Scott County.
Yep.
Yeah, just to bypass that one road
Yeah.
where people come out of Royal Blue and ride their side by
Right,
sides. It
right.
was a narrow, it was just easier, a little safer route to jump on the interstate.
Bailey
there.
just up the mountain there.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, that's all it did. We went up the top of the mountain.
Right.
Yeah, went 2 exits or 1 exit up and
Yeah.
jumped 6 miles, I think is what it was.
Yeah,
Wasn't
so
much.
not much.
Yeah.
So this was back in 2011, and you said that was the bike that you had
Well, we bought
first
that
one you had in ages. So what
Yeah.
before that? What did you have?
Well, when I was a kid, when I was younger, I rode. My brother-in-law had a Honda 750, so we rode it a little bit, and then Carl
Yeah,
had a Honda 400, and I remember riding it some. I remember taking Taryn for a ride on it on the interstate, scared her to death. When she was about 8 or 9 years old, I guess. And but that's really all it. My own personal motorcycle, I bought my first bike, and the only bike that I guess that I really owned then was I had a Sears Allstate or something 50cc.
We're talking old.
Oh baby,
We're talking
And
about
this
like
is-
the Coleman.
and this is back in
It's the knock of dirt squirts.
71 kind of time frame,
Right.
So yeah, back in the day. but I used to ride that thing to school. High
Okay.
school, rode to high school, rode to work.
Well, it was back in the day.
Yeah.
So why'd you get the itch to get another motorcycle when you got the Yamaha?
Well,
What was it? It was a V-Star
actually,
1100
It was a V-Star
Classic?
1100 Classic. V-Star Classic
Yeah.
1100. And it's a 2003 model. And you had been riding some.
Yep.
And I just kind of got the itch. You know, I wanted to do it again. I've been wanting to for a while, and I finally had enough money to buy one. So that's what we did. You know, we found it right across. I mean, the guy lived, 2 miles from us, maybe?
Yeah, it was just inside Knox County.
Yeah, it wasn't that far away.
Yeah.
You know, and so I remember I never saw it. You went and looked at it.
did.
I saw it on I saw it on
Craigslist. or
Craigslist,
something. Yeah.
whatever you advertise it on.
Yeah.
You went and looked at it and wrote him a check, and here we go.
Yeah. And it was, it didn't have a supercharger. It had like a super intake.
It's called
or
a hypercharger.
hypercharger. That's what it was.
And I don't know if they're really worth a nickel when it comes right
Well,
down
it
to
sounded
but
good.
It
It
sounded
ran-
good, looked good,
Ran good. It was a decent riding bike.
sounded great. Had those, God, what kind of exhaust was on there?
I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember. It was loud.
I'll tell you one funny.
Almost like a thunderheader or something.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm wanting to think it started with an R, but I may be wrong.
I remember the bike, but I can't
Yeah.
place it.
So I took it as, of course, this is when they still lived up here. I was going to ride it down to the store, to the gas station or something. I had shorts on. I'd been piddling around outside, so I just jumped on it and headed down Martell Road. Get almost out to the highway, and something flew up my damn leg of my shorts, and it was a wasp. I reached down, I grabbed that thing with my left hand, and I'm thinking, how in the hell am I going to stop this bike? I'm either going to lay on the brakes, and it's going to die. So I just started squeezing the shit out of it, and I finally got to where I could reach up and grab the clutch and get her slowed down in the next parking lot. And I pulled over, and there was a damn wasp come out the shorts. That was
always a
terrible.
bad
day.
That was terrible.
That's always a bad thing when bugs fly down your shirts and stuff like that. I had that happen a couple times.
So what bike do you have now?
Well, what I've got now is I've got a Hardy 2017 Tri-Glide that we've done, spent a ton of money on making it mine, I guess is the best
Oh,
way to
it
put
looks good, too.
Oh, it does.
It's
Real
pretty.
good.
Good looking bike, runs good, all that kind of stuff. And I've got a 2016 Heritage Classic.
How did you come across that one?
You sent me or did I find it?
You found it.
I found it. I was
It
looking-
replaced the Yamaha.
That's right. It replaced the Yamaha. I traded the Yamaha in on it. But I was looking for a Harley, looking for another Harley, looking for a Heritage, pretty much a Softail, and just came across this one. Is up in North Atlanta, and it was at a Mountain Motorsports.
Yep.
And some old guy had bought it, and it was more bike than he could handle, and he had traded it in on a Can-Am Spider, and it was a 16. It had 1,800 miles on it. They were asking $11,000 for it. I'm like, holy mac! So
Yeah, so you called and told me about it.
Yeah.
And
I think I sent you a picture of it.
yeah, you wanted me to come down and look at it. I said, okay. So we hit up a little ride. Me and a couple other guys went down and looked at it. And at this time, you already had the Tri-Glide, but you had the Yamaha. You kept the Yamaha.
Yeah, I kept
as well.
the Yamaha. Yeah.
So we went, looked at it, went and ate lunch,
And I rode the Yamaha over there that day.
Yeah.
We went over
and you asked me what I thought about it. And I told you you're stupid if you don't buy it.
That's right.
I said, you're an idiot if you don't go buy it. And you were going to think about it.
Yeah.
I said, no. I said, you need to leave here, go get that bike, and take it home with
Take
you.
it to the house.
Yes, because you're not going to find one like that.
No.
So at that time, I remember looking at some over in the local dealerships, and they were pushing $18,000 and you got a dang steal on that.
You ain't kidding.
And it's a good looking bike.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice
Sharp. Rides good, sounds good.
So I rode that baby home that day. Yeah, no doubt.
And you rode it on 2 of the Courthouse trips.
I rode it on 3 of them.
The day trip, yeah.
The only one
Yeah,
I
he did-
didn't.
he
I
rode on
rode the
3.
trike on the
West
last
Tennessee.
trip,
That's
the
the
West
very last
Tennessee
one.
trip. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Because Mom wanted to go.
Yep.
Yep. So she wouldn't ride on the 2.
She won't ride on the 2. Yeah, there's a story behind that.
But that's all right. Yeah. Maybe once or twice.
Yeah, right. Well, he felt sorry for me, so he's like, all right,
Right.
got to ride with the other guy.
He's
Got 3 wheels,
It's a fun ride.
All right. So you bought that. You had the Yamaha in 2011. Ended up having to move to Georgia because of work,
Moved to Georgia for work, chasing work.
and never got started on the courthouses.
No. Well, actually, I did. I went to 8. I rode 8 courthouses up here in East Tennessee. I think
Okay.
I rode Blount County. I know I rode up to Dandridge, to Jefferson County, and I rode.
You kind of did those on your own.
I did those on my own, like on the weekends or something, just,
Right.
and did those 8, and then that was the end of it. We moved down to Georgia in 2012, and hell, I pretty much forgot about it. There was no way I was going to be able to do it from down there.
Right.
Yeah, it was just kind of put on the back burner, and then all of a sudden, 2020? When did you?
It was pretty much it was
Somewhere around
COVID.
2019,
it was
2020.
The end of 2020, I started looking at planning some rides out for the next year. We had discussed it, not with you,
No.
but me and him had, and I thought, you know what, we should do that. Because at this time, you had the time that you could take off to come back up here.
Yeah.
And to do the rides, if we planned them out right. So the planning and getting the time to do it was a little difficult.
Yeah.
Just trying to pick the weekends to go. So we tried to work in some holidays, and actually 3 of the weekends we did on holiday weekends.
Right.
We did Memorial Day, Labor Day, Memorial Day. Mm-hmm. So we got it done in 2 days over a year. But I started planning them out, and I called you and I said, hey, what do you think about doing the courthouses again?
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised, but
Little shock.
All in on it, man. That's like, okay, let's figure out how to do this. And so I know you'd been doing a lot of planning, and I jumped in and did a little bit too, just sidebar
Right.
it so that it's compared to see which might work out the best. And,
Right.
hell, off we go.
So speaking of surprises, we just came back from Loganville because this guy finally retired.
finally.
Congratulations on
Finally.
that.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
It's a long time coming and several postponements, but finally crossed the finish line on that one.
Now you can go ride whenever you want to.
Now I can ride when I want to, and I
Perfect.
plan on doing that.
Good. Good.
I know when I first, when you finally said he's going to retire, I'm like, for real this time?
Yeah, right.
For this time, for real?
Well, I wasn't for sure until,
I know,
till
right?
the day
Until
of.
you showed
walked
up,
in there.
you walked in and said, "Oh, okay. Well, he must be serious."
So I asked him, I said, you staying for the rest of the day or you going home? He said, no, fuck this, I'm going house.
I'm out. I'm out.
That's right.
I said, okay, I guess he's done.
Peace
I'm
out,
done.
guys.
I'll see y'all later.
So anyway, in the end of 2020, I started planning this stuff, gave him the call. In May of 2021,
Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend, which
Yeah.
was May 21st through the 23rd.
Yep.
Yeah, is that right? Yeah, because we only
Yeah, 21st through 23rd.
yeah, we only did a 2-night trip on that one.
Yep. We did a Friday night, Saturday night, back Sunday.
Yeah,
And we actually left early. Well, left late on Friday.
left late on Friday because
Yep.
we had to wait on
Yep.
a couple people to get off work, and
Yeah,
so
I remember we left. I remember we left 5:30.
Yeah, pretty much 5:30.
5:30 on Friday. We took off and headed toward Chattanooga.
Yeah, and we actually was almost getting ready to pass Rome County, and everybody kind of bowed up and said, "Hey,
Well, we were headed over to Ride 58 down in Chattanooga
Yep.
because our whole idea was stay off the interstate. Now
Yep.
we could have run the interstate down there
oh sure."
and been there in an hour, but another 30 minutes you hit 58 and run down through there.
We
So
took 70 from Lawrence City over to 58, and
yeah, we come dropping off into Kingston, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Whoa, wait a minute! We'll just get this
Let's
one."
go ahead and get this one out of the way.
So we hit the brakes, jumped over, got a picture of Rome County real quick, and we ended up coming back to get a better picture because that first one was shit.
Yeah,
it
it was
absolutely
bad.
sucked.
it was traffic, a lot of traffic. And it was Friday afternoon, man. We were just,
Trying to take a picture across the damn highway, the motorcycles in front of it, and it just wasn't working.
So we were kind of on a mission to get to Chattanooga and start there.
Yeah.
So on that first trip, we did southern part of Tennessee over toward Nashville, back up over toward Memphis, back up, and then south of Nashville coming back, and got most of those. We skipped a couple that we got later, but it was just easier to do that. But in this trip, we did 23 courthouses total, and this is in 2 days and 1 evening.
Yeah. Right.
And it's about 668 miles. We had 3 bikes and 5 people.
Yep.
So that was you by yourself, me and Shelly, you and Heather, headed out toward Chattanooga. So
we stayed at that little, was that a Super 8?
Yeah, it was a Super 8.
Yeah, a little Super 8 right there
Down
in
Kimball.
Kimball, Tennessee. Kimball.
Yep.
And ate dinner that night at the top of the rock, which is
It was the top of the rock.
Awesome
it was way up.
it was at the top.
it was at the top.
It's a long way up. You never have to touch the throttle coming down.
No, you don't have to touch the throttle at all.
Yeah.
I promise you. But I mean, the food was good.
It was good. Service was good. It was a nice restaurant.
Yeah, I remember having the taco pizza.
Yeah.
So I got a picture of the taco pizza, and then I got a picture of the plate that the pizza was on. It was gone. We were good.
Yeah.
So, but that was a cool place to eat. We hadn't been back since, but I'd like to go back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a really cool place.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can see South Pittsburgh, you can see
Oh, it's way up there.
way up.
Even in the wintertime, they have those bubbles you can get in, sit inside out on the
Yeah.
patio. Each one of them are heated. I bet as a server that sucks.
Oh, you
having,
know it
having to
would.
walk in that stupid bubble every time you take something in or out.
And we wanted to sit out on the patio, but we got there so late, no reservations, so we all sat at the bar. And you know what?
Right.
That was perfectly fine.
No, it was great.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was dark right after we got there. It was just getting dark.
Yep.
And going back, it was dark.
Yeah.
And it was dark going off
And
that
it's a
hill.
very dark.
curvy road coming
Yeah.
off that hill.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was really good.
So when we stayed at that Super 8, I got up pretty early that morning. Mm-hmm. So I just went outside and I sat. And there was a gas station down the road. I walked down there and got some coffee and came back. And about 2 hours later, everybody else started getting up.
We'd been up. We thought everybody was still in the bed, so we're just kind of being quiet, And I walk out there, and Justin texts me, and he goes, "What time you gonna get up?" And I'm like, "Well, I've been up." And he goes, "Well, I'm sitting outside." I'm like, "Well, okay." He's like, "Got your coffee?" I'm great then.
It was probably cold by then, but whatever.
Yeah, hey, no, it's okay. It's all good.
So the next day, we took off from Kimball, and we did 12 courthouses that day. And after we left Kimball, we went over around South Pittsburgh, and I don't remember the name of the road. We shot up way on up the hill and then dropped off, ended up on a 2-lane highway.
We can actually see the river on the right-hand
Right.
side. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So it was back roads. It wasn't no interstate again. But we shot off there, and we hadn't had breakfast yet, other than what I got at the gas station, down the street from the Super 8. So we whipped in there to we were fixing to take a right, and there was a little market. I thought, well, I'll see what this is about.
Let's just stop and see.
So we rolled in there. It was the Broadview Market in Delhi. And we talked about that, I believe,
Second episode or something.
yeah, last episode or the second one or something about the Broadview Market in Delhi and the biscuits in that place.
Wood floors and
Of all the places we've been, that might have been one of the most unique places we stopped at.
Yeah.
It was
cool.
so cool.
It was so cool.
Just an old time grocery store, wood floor, creaky,
Yeah.
as you're walking across them. And lady in there at the deli, she hooked us up big time.
Yeah, she did. We was telling the story on that. I think it's the second episode. We were talking about Shelly asking if she could get a piece of tomato.
Yeah.
Honey, you can get anything you want, whatever you want on that thing.
Hey, dude, when she said she can get a slice of tomato, it's like I had that sausage biscuit. I need a slice of tomato right now.
Yeah, so we'll
and a little
throw,
mustard on
we'll
that.
throw that picture up right here again.
Yeah.
You and Heather and him are all standing there with your jaws full, looking like a
It's
damn
okay.
squirrel
You
eating
know
a
what?
nut.
That's all right. That damn biscuit was good.
Loving life. Loving
biscuit
life,
was
man.
good.
It was a perfect place to stop, though.
It was.
It was because we actually had to make the right there. There was a fork
Yeah.
right there, and it sat right in the middle of that fork. We had to take that right, and
Right.
we wheeled in there. And of course, you kind of look at it outside, and you're like, okay, the old gas pump still had the rolling numbers.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, here we go. So
After that one, we shot off to, I think we had one stop, but then we went to Moore County, which Moore County is the home of Jack Daniels,
yes, it is.
the best shit in the world.
We met Jack there.
We did. He wasn't feeling good. He was kind of still.
He was stiff.
Yeah, he was a little stiff. He was a little
He didn't
discolored.
talk much.
Yeah, he's a little short guy though.
Yeah.
But Moore County is home of Jack Daniels, the distillery there. You can always go do a tour. We were there early in the morning, so it wasn't open yet. We didn't get to do that.
It's driest county in the state of Tennessee, right?
It is.
It is, no doubt.
It is.
It is a dry county.
It's the wettest dry county
Yep.
in the state.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. So
But I think that the way that square was laid out in there was really cool because you had a lot of the Jack Daniels places. And
Yeah.
like Justin said, nothing was really open yet because we got there so early.
Right. Yep.
the little general store was
The general
open.
store was
Yep.
open, but the restaurants or something wasn't. So I'm glad we grabbed that biscuit when we did.
Right.
But you can actually, you can get your picture made with Jack sitting in different.
He's on the bench right
on
outside
the
the
bench
general
right
store.
outside the general store, and they, hey, it worked out good.
Yeah. So you can do the tour, and the tour is absolutely amazing there.
Oh, yeah.
It's
It's
great.
It's a great tour.
Been there numerous times, and actually probably will do it again this year for some that hadn't been there.
Yeah.
I don't believe. I think there's a cost for the tasting, but as far as the tour goes, I believe it's free. You can buy souvenir bottles there.
Correct.
You can have them engraved,
Yes.
but
You can't open them.
yeah, not supposed to.
You just saying.
But yeah, Jack Daniel's cool. They also do the big barbecue cook-off,
Yes.
and it's part of the big barbecue tour. And I can't remember what the name of that is or when it is, but
it's pretty impressive.
yeah,
I mean, it's really impressive.
massive barbecue cook-off competition stuff. So it's pretty cool. So from there, we headed over toward Pulaski, which is Giles County,
Yeah.
the home of the big turkey.
Yeah. Remember the giant
bird.
turkey? The monster turkey.
There was 2 courthouses in the entire state, and Pulaski was one of the top 2 that I thought was probably top 2 of the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Massive, huge town square.
Yeah.
They do a lot of stuff in downtown area.
Well, their
throughout the
downtown was
year.
really nice.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
They had a lot of the murals on the walls and stuff like that.
And they were setting up tents that day, and we were still pretty early in the morning, but they were setting up tents to have an event down there, and so we went into Ace Hardware.
Ace Hardware.
That was right there in the town square.
But it was an
Right
old
next-
Ace
It's right
Hardware.
across the street, right from the courthouse,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah. And so we walked across the street, hit the turkey, and we got a picture of it,
Yep.
and had some massive breasts.
I know, right?
Like it was like
I know. It's crazy.
that's the biggest turkey breast I've ever seen in my
know,
life.
right?
It's crazy. So we went down to the Ace Hardware and ended up buying a couple little things in there, and
Cheapest Yeti cup I've bought in a long time.
right.
It's like, I don't know, $12 or $15, something like that.
Yeah, I think we all bought one thing or two.
And I actually asked them, I said, I need to see if this will fit in my cup holder. And she said, honey, just take it outside and check it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I'm great.
They didn't care.
No, they didn't care at all. So it was really cool. Nice place.
Right. So left there, and we headed on toward the west, out toward Savannah, Tennessee, and
Yep.
found a little spot. And
It was the spot.
well, it was the spot. That's the name of it.
You found the spot.
But it says the best burger in town.
That's what it said.
So we had to be a judge.
And it was a pretty damn good
I
burger.
don't know what to put it up against, but it was pretty
Pretty
good.
damn good burger.
It was.
So
Little bitty place, too.
Yeah, a little
I
joint.
mean, little
Looks like
bitty
a-
place.
single wide, double wide trailer cut in half
Yeah.
with it was painted pink.
Was, wasn't it? Kind of pinky. Yeah.
No, I think it still had the 1970s carpet inside it. I mean, it was, but it was a good burger. It really was.
Right. So we ate lunch there, and that was usually when we do trips. I always try to find the local places to stop.
Well, and that's we should. I mean, and you know what? That's probably going to be your best food too.
I'll guarantee it. Well,
guarantee
that's what we figured out on most of the trips we've done.
Yep, it is. You find a hole in the wall, and that's probably going to be your
right.
best.
Smalls, hole in the wall joints. Always going to have the best food and the best people that you're talking to and meeting in there. Yeah.
Especially when you drop in these little cafes and there's 10 or 12 of you, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, shit.
Holy shit! Look at this! Look at this crew coming in.
Better get the food, get the oil fired up, because
That's right.
we got a crowd coming.
Fuck yeah!
So after that, we, which pretty good place, and I believe that was around Savannah. I think it was right outside of Savannah.
Yeah, it was.
went up to Decatur County. Normal little old courthouse. Now, what's cool about
Here's on a Saturday afternoon too, wasn't it? Saturday afternoon because it
Saturday
was really
afternoon.
quiet. That's what we found about a lot of these on these trips is particularly on Saturdays. Saturday, Sunday, you got no crowd. It was easy to get up to the courthouse, easy to get a picture. And I remember this one it was later in the afternoon, wasn't it?
it was right after lunch.
Okay.
It was after lunch because we had just left from Savannah and eating at the spot, and I think that was our next one.
Yeah.
I think that's correct.
I remember we went, it seemed like we rode around. We had to ride around. It seemed like we looked like we were parking on the back side of the courthouse. It ended up being the front side or the best side to get the picture from anyway.
Well, that's the thing. On any of them that we went to, we would have to pull in, and I got to where I tried to look it up before we got there.
Yeah.
Set the point on the maps, go to that point, get the picture, roll out. Well, we just got to the point after the first few of them. It's easier if you go in, circle the courthouse. You may have to do it a couple times to find the best spot
Find
to
your
get the
best
picture.
spot.
You might have to ride up on the sidewalk, and it's fine.
We may or may not have done that a time
Many
before.
a
Time
time
before.
and we never got kicked out. We never
Nope.
got arrested.
Right. Nope. We
Cops
seen-
would wave by.
Wave
Come
at
on,
us,
wave. Shelley absolutely hated that.
Shelly would run away. She's like, nope, I'm out. She could not stand on the corner until we got done.
But you gotta get a good picture.
That's right. That's
That's
the
what we're aiming
rules.
for. Yeah, that's why that first one absolutely sucked.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we got to go back and do this.
Yeah, go back and try again. So we got Decatur County, and we were leaving out of there, headed down. I believe it was Highway 100, headed back over toward
2-lane road.
Yeah, toward Columbia to Maury County, that area. It may have been Perry County was the next one. I believe Perry County was after
May have
Decatur.
been, yeah.
So, hell, we weren't a mile. We had just pulled out of the courthouse, and there was a flatbed truck, pulling a boat.
Well, he
Actually,
actually
was
pulled out in front of us.
He did. He pulled right out in front of us.
Yeah.
We got in behind him right there, right at the courthouse.
Yep.
Yeah, so he came by. We got in behind him, and
He takes a left. We take a left.
yeah,
Right.
So we're just following him down Highway 100.
just rolling down the road, and all of a sudden, as he's hitting the bumps in the road, which wasn't terrible,
No.
he had a spare tire laying up on the flatbed.
Yes. Yes, he did.
Now I'm riding in the front, and I don't remember.
Steve O's next.
Okay, and then
And I was bringing up the back.
So as we're riding down through there, I keep seeing that spare tire move around. I thought, well, this don't look good. So he went around the curve, and here came that spare tire. It fell off, went under the boat,
Yes,
tried
it
to
did.
flip,
Yes, it
shot
did.
the boat up in the air, so the boat came off the trailer came off the ground. Luckily, those two set back down to each other. I've already backed off and moved over into the oncoming lane. Luckily, nothing was coming. That tire bounced once. It was right beside me, bounced in the ditch. Luckily, hit the downward slope.
Yep.
And when it hit, it went away from me up into the woods. And we got the hell out of there.
Yep. Me and Steve O, they actually pulled over.
We were just playing the bounce of the tire. That's why just
Yeah.
kind of playing which way it was going to go.
We watched it all the way until it passed both of us. It was like, okay, where's it going? Where's it going? It's gone. And he actually pulled over because he knew
Yeah.
right then.
Yeah, not far ahead of that was a road that you could turn onto, and he pulled over.
Yep. We hauled ass.
Like, damn.
We're out. That was, it was almost like slow motion too.
Yeah.
Oh, it
As
was.
You see it bounce.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it bounce. I'm like Steve. I'm sitting here going, which way are you going to bounce?
Which way is it going to
Yeah.
go? Which
Yeah.
way am I going to go?
Yeah. So
Well, when I saw it come off the truck, I just started backing up because I didn't know where it was going, what it was going to do.
Yeah.
Buddy, that thing hit. It looked like one going down the interstate running free.
Oh, it'd have took you out if it had got you.
oh, absolutely.
no doubt. It was big.
Oh, yeah.
It was huge.
It was, yeah. and Justin Keys up said, did you just see that? yes, we did.
Yeah. It was a little bit of eye opening. It'd been easy going day, and
Yeah.
of course, you're going to have some shit happen.
Oh, of course.
on the trip,
Oh, yeah,
right?
always. You're always going to have that.
Yeah.
So
Which became the theme of the rest of the trips is that something was going to happen. It was just a matter of when it happened.
and what it was,
And what it
That's
was.
it.
But,
Just never
but something
know.
was going to happen.
right?
Yep.
So we left out of there and headed down toward Maury County, and that's Columbia, Tennessee. And the way that we went into Maury County was down this little 2-lane. Came into town, went up a hill. We were right back on a 4-lane at this point. Went up the hill, and as we topped the hill, at the bottom was the courthouse.
Yeah, and it was.
And that was cool.
It was impressive.
It was a pretty majestic courthouse.
It was.
It was probably one. It was definitely one of the top 5.
Oh, absolutely.
That's my other one of my top 2.
Yeah, yeah. I told Justin, I said, I said I could stop at the top of this hill and just look at that for a minute.
Yeah.
They had the flag hanging. I mean, it was impressive.
Yeah, it was.
And it was a busy town square.
That's what I was fixing to say because
Man, it was crowded that day.
busy.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Well, there's tons of restaurants and stuff like that.
They actually did a really good job on their town square.
Right. One way around. It's kind of like a roundabout around the square.
Yep.
But there was enough room in one of the
Well, it went this way, come right, and this way, come in, and there was enough of a triangle there.
Yeah,
for us to
there's
sit in there.
plenty of a triangle that we went around, came back in, got in the triangle, we got off, and we just parked right there.
Well, that's actually when the police officer come past us. He just kind of looked over, and we all just kind of waved, and he just waved.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's like, "Hey, we got hey, it's all good."
Well, we never left the box. It's not like we were parking there to go eat.
We were in and out quick.
Well, and that was the point. Try to get in, get out. We're going to the next one.
Yeah. So a lot of these that you go to, you might have to park on the sidewalk. You might have to go out and stand in the middle of a lane. Not that it's going to be busy,
Right.
but to get the right picture, to get a good picture, you may have to go stand out in the middle of the road, snap the picture. So if anybody ever does this, my suggestion is have one person that takes the pictures.
Well, there was a couple of times there that Justin would key up, and he'd say, "Don't even get off."
Yeah.
And me and Heather would just sit on the bike, look for the picture, let's roll.
Yeah.
And because sometimes that's what we had to do.
Yeah, I think most of the courthouses we went to, we didn't stop and visit. We didn't stop and get off and walk around and play tourist. We were on, get off, take a picture, get on, go.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have time to do that.
No.
You don't have time. So what we found on these is a good number of courthouses to go to is about 10 per day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that includes a lunch stop, getting stopped early enough to go eat dinner.
Right.
And because you're looking at 30 to 45 minutes between courthouses and anywhere from...
Yeah. That's what we found, wasn't it?
Yeah, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes per stop at the courthouse, and that counts your time driving around trying to find the picture, get the bike set up. Now, if you were doing it solo, or if you're doing it with a couple of people, it's fine.
Yeah.
The more people you add into it, the longer it's going to take, and we'll get into that.
We'll get into that. Yeah, we'll definitely get into
here
that
shortly. So, but it's hard to get the right picture. It takes a little bit of time. Plus, you get off. If you want to have people still sitting on the bikes, you're not going to get the perfect picture every time.
No.
We tried to, but there were some places, like you said, that we couldn't get off the bike. It just is what it is. We got a picture of the bike sitting in front of the courthouse. That was our goal.
Yep.
So we got that. Mm-hmm. But if we can park them, make them look good in front of the courthouse, get the courthouse name, then that's what we would do. But it wasn't always available.
No. Sometimes it just didn't work out.
Correct.
And so you did the best with what you had.
Right. But, it does take a little time. So what we figured was about 10 courthouses a day is a good number to do that. So now if you hit it hard and you really want to do a marathon, iron butt kind of deal, if you're by yourself, you can roll in, hit it, jump back on and go.
Yeah.
You could probably do 15 if you really pushed it.
Yep.
If you're by yourself.
Well, I think if you
Just
had the
depends.
right camera, that courthouse right there would be one I'd like to do at night. If you had the right camera to take a picture of the bikes in front of that courthouse at night.
Going to Columbia?
I
Maury
think that
County?
would be really cool picture.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know if you could.
Right.
I don't know if you could set it up or not.
You could.
But you'd do some proper planning.
Well, the night pictures, if you set your camera up right,
Yeah.
it looks pretty sharp.
And I'm sure that town square shuts down.
Yeah, I'm sure it does stay open late, but still, that was
Because there were some nice restaurants there too.
There were.
Right. So we stayed. Where did we stay?
Right outside Columbia.
We stayed at another Super 8.
Yeah, we stayed in
Super
Super 8.
Yeah, we went over to after we left the
Little
Maury
gas
County
station.
Courthouse. We went to Bad Idea Brewing.
Bad idea.
Saw the name.
Knew I had to.
Bad idea. Fuck yeah, I'm in.
That's right.
I'm in.
I actually got a sticker for that. I was like, you know what? You got to have a sticker for this.
Oh, I do too. I got
Bad
plenty
idea,
of them.
brew it.
But they have craft beers, outdoor seating. They had some live music going on. Pretty neat little joint.
It was.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still open.
Well,
Not sure. Hadn't been back.
the
But
parking situation was a little tight there. And, a couple of people had to talk about that. But hey, it was a cool little place.
was a nice
It was
little
really a
place,
cool
yeah, for
place.
sure.
And they were still, I'm like, this is kind of what I drink. And he's
Yeah.
like, you know what? Here, try this. I'm like, I don't like that. And he goes, oh, yeah, throw it out. Let's try this. So it was I like the.
well, that's the thing about the craft beer places now. If you don't know what you like, they'll give you a sample of it.
Right.
And they'll let you sample anything you got. And if you don't like it, fine.
Yep.
They'll kind of figure out what you like. You try it. If you like it, they'll give you one of them.
Well,
but samples are free.
And from what I've seen on most of them, you can walk in there and say, "This is what I drink," and they go, "You know what? Then you will probably like this."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can try any of them.
Yeah.
It's a neat place.
I've gotten to where I kind of like some of the.
You're the sour guy.
I kind of like sours and I kind of like IPAs from craft beer places.
Not me.
Well, I don't know,
just-
but I like them.
Nope.
Not bad.
I'm trying to keep my girlish figure.
Yeah.
You know?
So after that one, the next day, the Sunday was from Maury County back toward East Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I think we did 8 courthouses that day. And went to Grundy County.
Grundy County auction, baby.
We didn't see an auction.
I seen the sign though. Me and Shelly sang it to each other. Grundy County auction.
My God, Shelley was singing like mad.
That's right.
And that was one we rolled in. Of course, it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
We did. We did Coffee County that morning, first thing, didn't we?
Possible.
I think Coffee County was first.
Before we went to Grundy County,
And then we rolled
Or
through
did-
Grundy because I remember the sign
Yeah.
there. And then because if you'll remember, we come off of there, and that's when we hit through Grundy County. We hit Dawson Mountain Road,
I don't remember. I'd have to look up
and
to
then we
see
popped
exactly
back out in Decatur. And I think we ate lunch in Decatur.
what's significant about
Thinking
coffee. What about Coffee County?
Well, I was just thinking that morning. I remember first. I thought we got up that morning, and the first thing we did was go to. Yeah, absolutely. We went to Shelby County because Heather.
No,
did
not
we?
Shelby
Not
County.
Shelby. I'm sorry. I think it was Shelbyville.
Coffee County.
Shelbyville, which was
Shelbyville, which is where my wife
Right.
was pretty much.
where Heather
She raped.
spent a lot of time.
Yeah.
And
She used to live there.
we met that couple at the courthouse, and they were giving us all this history lesson, if I remember right. It was, and I thought that courthouse there in Shelbyville. I don't remember what county, but man, it was pretty. That was beautiful. Then we went over
Bedford County.
Bedford County.
Bedford.
Then we went over to. I thought we went to Manchester. Over to Coffee County. I
Yep.
used to live in Manchester
Yep.
back in the day, back way in the day, in the early '80s.
After Coffee County,
After
went
Grundy.
to Grundy County,
Yep.
and then
That's when we found Dawson Mountain Road.
across to
I remember that
Sequatchie.
quite well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sequatchie County.
Yep.
It was between Grundy and Sequatchie. So as we're riding along, if I see something on the Google Maps that I want to go try, it's like, oh, this looks like a cool road. Yeah, why not? So it had some curves in it, down closer to Highway 28. Zoomed in on it pretty quick. Thought that looks like a good one. So it was, and it wasn't a bad road. It was a back road.
Yep.
And I remember where we turned.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little store right there on the corner. It was Scott's Grocery.
It was Scott's Grocery.
Scott's Grocery.
Yeah,
And I'm pretty sure that was Scott from Scotts Hill.
it may be.
Yeah.
If
Scott's
not,
Hill.
it was his brothers running it now.
I think that's what happened. His brother's running it now. But
I'll
anyway,
have to call Huffman and ask him.
we
see if he
will.
knows.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll
So,
figure out Scotts Hill soon.
Yeah, we went down to Dawson Mountain Road, so I'm just cruising along. It was kind of curvy in a spot.
Actually, I think it's a great road myself.
Oh, it was. It was short. Yeah, I think it's
Like
not.
11 miles.
Yeah, it's not very long, but it the pavement was good. It kind of went up over the mountain, back down, and
There were some tight curves in it.
you were on the Heritage.
I was riding the Heritage.
The Heritage doesn't have much of a lean angle,
Nope.
so I just cruise on around the curve, and I pass a Toyota Tacoma. Well,
I'm going around these curves, and I'm dragging my pad. I'm rubbing the pads all the time. And I wasn't going that fast, but making these curves, leaning over one way or the other, dragging. Okay, all's good. It's still having fun.
yeah. Well, I pass that Toyota. Next thing I know, all I hear is metal and asphalt. And I think, oh, shit. Well, I couldn't really see back around the corner in my mirror yet. So I hit the dang headset. We were using the Cena 20S's at the time. So I hit the headset, pull up stick. I said, he make it by that truck? Yeah, I don't know how in the fuck he did it, but he sure did.
And that's pretty much because I don't think you could have got a piece of paper between the back and the truck.
Man.
Damn, it was close.
It was close. It was
From sitting back here, it was
pucker time,
it
baby.
was
That guy probably went, oh, shit, and
He wouldn't
probably
move off the center line.
Yeah.
He stayed on the center line,
Toyota Tacoma's a big truck, man.
and I was on the center line. And I was leaning and dragging.
you were.
Well, you were on the
and-
center line, and your turn was to the right.
Yeah. I couldn't get away from a guy, and he wasn't moving off of it, and I thought I was dead. Luckily, somehow, there was enough space in there.
There was
It's
space in there. I don't know how there
Holy
was. Apparently. Holy
hell.
shit.
There was enough flex in that floorboard that
It gave
needed
just
that
enough. It
last
did.
little bit.
Because
That
I'm
last
telling
little
you,
bit.
you could not have. Because when Justin hit me, I said, you couldn't have put a piece of paper in between them. I can promise you that.
I said, how in the hell did he make it through that?
Jeez.
Yeah. It was tight. Very
was.
tight. It was real tight.
That was another oh shit moment for this trip. There's
Yeah.
two right there.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Good Lord. So anyway,
Well, when we kind of wrapped up that one when we swung back by our courthouse.
well, we went by Loudoun County, and Loudoun County had caught on fire
2 years prior. What it?
April 23rd of 2019.
2019.
So all the windows are boarded up, and they're finally just now, and this is April of 24. They're just now starting to work on the inside. The outside's
exterior's
done.
but the fences are still up. Correct.
Right, they are.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it.
But they got grass growing back in there. They got all the roof and everything replaced. But it caught fire it was an electrical issue in the bell tower.
In the bell tower.
Right. So it pretty well burnt down. The inside
did,
burnt.
yes.
The outer shell was still there. So it was an insurance fight to try to bring it back up to where it needed to be and save it and not have to tear it down.
Yep. But the insurance, I reckon, is going to be paying full.
Yeah, it's quite
Full cost of
pricey.
it. Oh yes.
Quite pricey.
Yes. Very pricey.
So anyway, we stopped there. The next trip we did, which is second trip, and it, like I said, it takes a little while to try to get all the people together, to get schedules worked out, take time off work, the planning to make it happen. But Labor Day of 2021, so September 3rd to September 6th, we took off to northeast Tennessee, across the northern part, toward Nashville, Lebanon, and then worked our way back kind of north of I-40.
Yeah.
We did everything north of I-40 and
we had-
north and west of, or east of Knoxville.
And we had a big group.
We did.
We had a very big group.
We had 9 bikes and 12 people to start with.
Yep.
We lost a couple along the way that ended up splitting out and going home. But on this trip was a Friday through Monday. Left on a Friday afternoon, came back on Monday evening, and it was 33 courthouses, 895 miles, and quite a few people.
Yep.
So this is where I say, whenever you plan something, and the more the merrier to me.
Yeah.
But when you try to get a picture in front of every courthouse, and everybody does that, it's hard to set up that many bikes.
It is, and we tried. There was a couple there that we actually had to take 2 pictures because the parking just was not there.
Yeah.
You could not get the bikes in there. I was trying to think, was it Hamlin County?
Hamlin County was pretty bad because it was right on the highway. We had to pull up on the sidewalk.
Yep, and there was a hill, and I
Yeah.
mean, it was just it was tight.
Yeah, but we made it work. Later on in this trip, people, some of the ones that were with us, they didn't even, they were fine. They didn't want to get the picture.
Yeah,
They thought it was a cool idea with a big group. It's kind of tough.
well, I'll tell you, and I love the big groups. I love the camaraderie. I love the ride, like
A lot
that.
of fun.
But when you're going through the small towns, trying to get through all the red lights.
Yeah.
The turns, when you get those tight, there's this turn to that turn to this turn to that turn. It can get spread out.
Right.
And that's when, usually when we ride like that, Justin's in the front, I'm in the back, and we're talking constantly. Did you get through? Nope. Okay, we're here. Make sure you take the next right. And we try to make sure that everybody gets through. And, I think you were in the middle on this big group, and that way we were talking.
Right.
Oh, okay, Steve didn't get through. He's going to get the next crew, and then I've got the last crew.
Somebody knew where we were going.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were spread out.
Yep.
So the ones that knew where the next stop was or where the next turn was kind of in the middle, in the back. We were spread out to where if we did get split up.
Yep.
So first day we left mid-afternoon on a Friday, did 5 courthouses and headed to Blount County, headed up the far eastern part of Tennessee, and on our way through, after Cock County, we had to make a stop at
The Bob.
the Barbarossa Saloon.
The Bob. Had to hit the Bob. You got to hit the Bob. If you're ever in that area, you got to hit the Bob.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It's like a rule. That's
it
state
is
law.
a rule.
That's
It's
state
a
law.
rule.
State
If
law.
you're up there,
That's
you got to
state
go.
law.
State law
My
right there, by God.
Barbarossa Saloon, if you've never been there, we talked about it in the East Tennessee episode.
Sits right on the river.
It's a cool joint, man.
It
That's all
is.
you can say.
Straight up biker bar, great people,
Oh, yeah.
good food, cold beer, no liquor, but live music. They always
got
have
the campground
events.
in now.
Yeah, they got the stabbing cabins.
Stabbing cabins.
Yep. But cool ass place. If you're ever in town, check it out. Barbarossa Saloon. Left there, headed up toward Greenville, Tennessee. Stayed the night in Greenville at a Quality Inn, and we there again went back to these local places. So I'd looked up a few different spots to eat dinner at, and we picked this Hyperion Bar and Grill.
5-star.
Yeah,
5-star.
it was a 5-star place. Yep. So we go pulling in, we all back in, go to walk in. You got to have an ID to get in. They check IDs at the door. So
21
and
over.
So we go out in this room that goes to the outside out front. And this room was nothing but plywood walls. The ceiling fans looked like they had caught on fire.
Had 3 blades on one of them.
Yeah, they were hanging down. It looked awful. So we're all ordering just basic bar food.
Yeah.
Burgers,
fries,
chicken
whatever.
tenders,
Yeah,
wings,
absolutely.
whatever.
Can't screw up a chicken tender,
Then you got old Doc.
Prime rib.
What Doc order?
He ordered him and Spitzer both prime rib.
Ordered prime rib.
And I'm thinking, wait a minute,
Yeah, let's go. Let's see what this is going to turn
prime
out to be.
rib.
At a
biker
and we're
bar.
sitting in a room that the walls are nothing but straight up OSB.
Yeah.
A bit of a shock.
Yeah,
But they had the cornhole out front. Didn't have any live music that night, but they did turn music on. Service was great.
Yeah.
well, and Doc said the prime rib was pretty on point.
He did say that. He said it was pretty
He
good.
said it's on point.
I
So,
was a bit shocked by that.
my burger was great.
Yeah.
My burger was good.
Some of them had margaritas, and
We had cold beer.
we did. We had some beers. Played a little cornhole out front.
Yeah, I'm thinking I had a couple. I was drinking some whiskey.
Yeah, because Keith was there, and I think
Yeah.
he was too.
Yeah.
But it ended up not being a bad spot.
Right?
No, I thought it
No, I
was pretty
thought
good.
that'd be okay.
I thought
Yeah.
it was a cool place.
Yeah. And that's what happens. Some places you pull into, it's like, oh God, I don't know.
I'm telling you.
Then you
the
try
hole
it
in the
out,
walls,
try it out,
man,
and here we are.
The hole in the walls are the key.
Right. So after we got done with dinner,
We need to fuel up
yeah, went to the Exxon,
for the next morning.
and we always started with a full tank of gas next day.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
after we'd eat, we go to the fill up. So I was standing there filling up. And all of a sudden, I hear something. What the hell was that? I turn around, and what happened?
Well, I got filled up first and just pulled out a big parking lot. So I thought I'd go out here and just play around a little bit, do some U-turns, playing around, and drop the damn thing right on top of me. I don't know what I did wrong, but I hit the brake or hit the clutch at the wrong time or something. Anyway, down she goes.
Yeah.
I hear somebody holler, shit. Everybody turns around.
I turn around and look.
Like, damn.
I was like, fuck, that's Dad. And I take off. I mean, I felt like,
I
look,
couldn't get off from under it.
I feel like I'm running fast, right? No.
No.
Out of nowhere comes this kid from the Dunkin' Donuts next door, and he's got smoke flying off his damn shoes.
Oh, he had like 6 foot legs, man. He was there before we could ever even get halfway there.
Yeah, and he had already started to pick the bike up, so we got the bike up, got it off his foot, and all
Well,
was
the-
good.
the
You didn't get
floorboard-
hurt, thank God.
No, I
The
didn't get it.
floorboard laid right on his foot, and he was like, he just couldn't.
He couldn't move.
He's like, I can't. I'm fine, but I can't get so much off my
I was
leg.
just trapped.
So we got it stood back up. I looked at that kid and I said, "Where in the fuck did you come from?" He said, "I was over there with my friend at that car."
In the other parking lot.
I looked at my bike, which was about half the distance where he came from, and I thought, "Well, shit. Hey, I appreciate it."
Yeah, right.
Over, yeah, thanks a lot,
Dude, he
dude.
was
Damn.
Appreciate
strolling.
that,
He was
man.
strolling coming across that parking lot, man. It
That
was
was stupid.
crazy.
Right.
God.
So next day we did 9 courthouses and started out from Greenville, went up toward Mountain City,
Yep.
and from Mountain City over to Bristol, we got to ride the Snake, which is Highway 421.
Cool plate.
It
Cool,
was a good
cool ride.
Good ride.
33 miles, 489 curves, 3 mountains, and 1 valley.
What was the square footage of that mountain?
According to Heather, it's 3,000 square feet
Okay.
of
Did
elevation.
you know that?
Oh, okay. No, I hadn't heard that one.
You know,
It's square foot of elevation.
Okay.
yeah, square foot of elevation.
Just
That's the new thing around here.
square foot of elevation.
So
We've not figured it
That's
out
a
yet, but
Tennessee
just
thing.
yeah.
Snake was awesome.
It was cool.
and they're kind of like the Dragon. They've got a company that takes pictures there in the curves, and we
I've got one hanging in my camper.
I do
You
too.
know, there you go. And they've got what is that? Shady Valley Grocery or Shady Valley
Yeah, right there in the middle.
Shady
of it.
Valley Store.
Shady Valley Country Store.
Yeah, and that place is pretty cool too.
That's nice. Yeah, a lot of souvenirs, T-shirts, and stuff in there.
Yeah,
That's the only place you can get merchandise for the Snake too.
Right.
correct.
They got a little deli. I mean, it's like another one of those old places. Been there forever. You can go in, get you a burger, get you a sandwich, sit down and eat. And when you sit down and eat, it's at plastic tables and plastic chairs, best I recall. Mm-hmm. All wooden floor, wooden inside. Neat place, though.
It was
Got all kinds of stuff in there. So went from there to,
Bristol Motor Speedway.
hey, we were going past it. May as well pull in and get a picture, right?
Yep.
So we come in from the drag strip side, and we just made our way around to the front, to the it's Bristol, baby. The
That's
big
right.
sign.
Yep.
Yep.
Which we got some pretty badass pictures of everybody with their bike in front of it, and everybody sitting on it. That was pretty cool.
That's
I
a
actually
good
thought about trying to go into gate 21 and but no,
I might have snuck in there a time or two,
it was closed.
but that's when we were camping up there.
Yeah.
Look, they can't lock everything up around the place.
No.
All right, so went from there, went over toward, and that was still fairly early. Made our way
Yeah.
down to Washington County, Jonesboro, and they were doing a festival in Jonesboro.
If you remember, I mean, the streets were packed.
They were parking; there was
Yeah.
limited.
Yeah.
So
That was one of those.
I guess it was a storytelling festival or something, but they were doing storytelling on the front steps of the courthouse.
Yep.
So that was one of those. I just told you all, hey, pull up here up front. I'm going to park. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to get the picture. Don't get off the bike. I'll jump back on and we'll go park.
Actually, we never got out of the road. We stopped. We was on the road.
Right.
We stopped in front of the courthouse, looked, waved, and pulled on.
Everybody
there
was-
a line of cars behind
Everybody
us.
was sitting on the steps and they were
Yep.
telling a story, and here comes some crazy ass motorcycles pulling up. It's like, hey, I got to get this picture. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be out of here in just a minute. So jump off, snag the pic, and go. Then we went to the Jonesboro Barrel House to eat.
Yep.
Which was a barbecue place, and they cooked the barbecue out back. Right? So a year after we were there, they had a fire back in the smoker, which is not connected to the building where the actual restaurant was. Now, we sat out back, and it was a
Right.
beautiful landscape
Yeah.
area.
Remember we sat out on that
Yeah.
on that
Remember that?
patio. We went upstairs.
Went upstairs and outside on the patio.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, the fire, it didn't mess up the restaurant, but fire marshal came in and decided that the building needed to be brought up to code, and it was old. The people who owned the building was late 70s, 80s, and they said they weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
That'd take a lot of money to take
Yeah,
that
that's a
building
lot
up
of
to
money.
code.
Yeah.
So
That'd be a lot of money.
they ended up closing the restaurant.
Oh man, that place was awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
That place was
It
awesome.
was very good. But while we waited to get a table there,
I was fixing to say we had to we had to wait.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so we walked over to Tennessee Hills Distillery, which is across the railroad tracks up the hill. Well, hell, it's a distillery, and it's got to be good, right?
Yeah, right.
So we went to check it out. Had a little bar, had a drink or two in there, and then bought some Tennessee Hills merch. And
I think I got one of those stickers.
yeah, went back to eat.
I'm a sticker whore, if you couldn't tell.
Yes, you are.
Got to have my stickers, man. Got to have my stickers.
So left there, made our way back over toward Morristown, and stayed at another Quality Suites
Yeah.
that night.
Quality
I
Inn
believe it
Suites or
was.
something like that, right there in Morristown.
Next day, did 12 courthouses, went over toward Nashville, across the northern part of the state. And it got a little cool that day. A little bit of rain, a little dampness in the air. But later on that day, we lost one couple. They ended up having to go back home. And I believe this is where we... I missed a turn somewhere,
Yeah, and we had to try to start backtracking.
and we ended up on this. I missed the turn, so I went down to the next one, went up the road. It was a 1-lane, half
It was
asphalt,
a
half
pig trail, is
gravel.
what the hell it was.
But it came back out. But
It did.
in the process of that, with all those bikes, we kind of got separated to where our headsets wouldn't work front to back of the group.
Correct. So, you need to fix that because we were...
They may have on the new ones.
Okay.
You got to buy one and try it.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Because we were losing it the other day when I was
We
connected
were.
to you.
Yeah.
But anyway, we tried to wait, and we waited and waited and waited, and we never the second half of the group never came out, and I don't remember who it was. It was in the back.
I was in the very back.
No, in the back of the first half of the group.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember that.
That didn't stop whenever we made the turn like they should have, knowing that we were going that way. He just kept on with the rest of them. To hell with the people in the back,
Right.
that hadn't showed up yet. So we end up getting split up. We got down.
Well, and our phones wouldn't work because I was trying to call.
Right, didn't have any service. So we went out, and I ended up getting to a stop sign, and I stopped, and the other ones didn't show up. So I pulled up Life 360, and by this time I could see where you were. Me and one other person, I don't remember who it was, maybe Doc or somebody.
No, Doc was with me.
Well, anyway, we turned around, went back, found everybody else, and one of the couples had dropped their bike. But they got it stood back up, and they just kind of hung out right there at that intersection.
Well, I had 360 pulled up, and and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, okay, I see him. How the hell do I get there? Because there was like 3 little roads that run together, and I'm like, okay, I got to get there, but let me look at this for a minute. And at the time, and the ladies were like, hey, we got to pee.
Yeah.
And they hit the woods.
I went to the woods.
They hit the woods. I mean, it's like, got the bike stood up, and about that time, I could see Justin coming on 360, and I'm like, okay. Because I don't know how he got where he's at, but they're coming. And we hopped right in, and we really wasn't
Half a mile.
Half a mile apart.
Not far at all. But anyway, we got through that, and maybe the new Cena mesh system, maybe that'll take care of that, because supposedly it's got about a mile range.
It seemed like on
With
the
mesh,
on
it's
the
more
20s,
like a bubble.
It seemed like on the 20S's is if we were in line of sight.
That's pretty
Yeah,
much what
be
it
a
was.
little side. Yeah, if you got anything
But
between you.
once you get out of that, and I mean, and it was, we were in the mountains. There was some heavy coverage too.
See, that's where the mesh changes things. You don't have to be line of sight with the mesh on the new ones. So anyway, split out of there. Finally got to La Quinta Inn and Suites in Lebanon later on that evening, and everybody was worn out from doing all the rides between the courthouses, and it was just constant. Still a big group of people, so it took some time. There was quite a bit of riding that day. I think we did 300 miles.
Yeah.
12 courthouses. That's where I say that 10 is probably a good number.
Yep.
And we got to
We
Lebanon.
pushed that day just a little hard.
I believe we got Wilson County, and then we went to the La Quinta Inn and Suites.
Yeah.
So I had some places picked out for dinner, and the group overruled the
said,
leader.
you know what?
The group overruled the leader
They
and
said we
said,
can walk that demo Charlie's
That's
right there.
yeah. So ended up walking to O'Charlie's and had a good time there.
Oh yeah, had a great time.
Yeah. There was a couple of them kind of got tore up in the bar.
Yeah.
And one of them might have been your brother.
I'm not going to say no names.
It
Keith.
might have been.
Was.
Not saying no names. Keith.
Yeah.
Keith.
That's about right.
Hey, he rallied the next morning, though. He was like, let's roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next morning, we lost two. One of them wasn't feeling good. He decided to head on back down the interstate.
Yep.
The other one lived north of
I
Nashville,
was going to say he was in the area anyway. So
up in Kentucky, so he just shot on home himself. So by this time, we'd lost 3 of the 9. We were down to 6, and we just continued on.
Yeah.
So that
Well, it
day,
was our Sunday, too. And, I mean, we were wrapping
Yep.
up.
well, this was Monday. This was Monday.
That's right. It was Monday. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
So we did 200 miles this day. We did 7 courthouses, and we were working our way back to East Tennessee. And it was pretty uneventful.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot that went on the rest of that. It was
No, it's just a, I mean,
turned out to be a great day, great ride.
it was cool that morning, but man, it was nice.
Yeah, I think we
It
ended up
was
getting
really nice.
back somewhere around 4:30 or so.
Yeah.
And so we stopped at Bootlegger's Bar and Grill for dinner, for a late lunch, early dinner before we got back. It was about an hour from home,
And that was where?
and that was in Crossville,
Crossville.
on Highway 70. Walk in through the bar, out back, pretty good food, what
It
I
was.
remember.
Yeah, it was really good food.
We sat outside, and not a bad place.
No,
I'd go back.
I would too. I mean, it was, gravel parking lot, but I thought it was
Well,
cool.
we parked on that upper part,
Right.
and it wasn't bad. So, and that was that.
There were
took-
several bikes in there too when we pulled in.
There
There's-
were. Yeah,
there-
that's right.
Yeah, there's always quite a few bikes there. Every time I've been by and not stopped, but yeah, I guess it's a pretty popular place.
Yeah.
So that wraps up the second trip. We've got another day trip and the trip out to West Tennessee.
Yep.
And I think what we'll do is we'll just split that into, we'll make that as part 2. So that's going to wrap up
Part 1.
part 1 of the Tennessee 95 courthouses.
Stay tuned for part 2.